Alright guys, Rich here from the RCnetwork, and this is going to be my full wrap-up review on the B44.2 from Team Associated. Now this is a 1/10 scale 4-wheel drive buggy. This is a kit form, so you do have to put it together. It comes with basically everything you need to get it up and running, except for does not include tires. It does not include a pinion gear and does not include any electronics. So you will have to purchase all that stuff on your own, along with some other supplement items that I'll go over a little bit later in the video. Now I will do a full weigh-in on this buggy at the very end, so please stay tuned and promise no fast forwarding here. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys was the manual, and there's lots of kits that I have personally built before, and I think that Team Associated did an outstanding job with this particular manual. It was very clear, it was very precise, it gave you lots of racer tips, or in other words, tips that some of their factory team racers use, and which was pretty cool. So the only two things that I saw as mistakes or maybe issues in the manual, there was an orientation issue with the front steering knuckles, and then the only other thing was I wish it had better instructions on how to adjust the cam style motor mount. Now I've personally never dealt with a cam style motor mount before, and it was kind of new to me. I had to search and search and search, and I actually found no further instruction on YouTube or anywhere else on the motor mount. So I think it's just a given that everyone knows how to deal with it. Unfortunately, the only ones I've dealt with before were the slide style motor mounts, so kind of new to me. As far as building the kit, went very, very easy. I've been kind of waiting on some parts and whatnot because not a lot of local shops deal with the 44.2 parts. So you may have to find yourself outsourcing some of that stuff to some of the online retailers. So as far as things that I think should be included on this buggy, and we'll kind of go over this throughout when I'm pointing out some things on the buggy, and I'll give you guys some close-ups and whatnot. The first thing is the rod ends, and this was the first thing that I added onto the buggy even before I started building it, because I've heard of so many issues with it. I went ahead and picked up the RPM version of the rod ends. These are just the 440s, and as with all my wrap-up videos, there will be a full clickable link list of everything that I've added to this buggy, so don't put the pen and paper down. It's all going to be down there in the video description. So the first thing was the RPM rod ends. I didn't even put the rod ends on. I went ahead and put the RPMs on, and we'll kind of go from there. The next thing was the shock standoffs. Now they put all the money into the shock standoffs, those nice blue anodized, and I'm going to try and grab one here from my parts kit. And there are these things right here. And they're riding right into their upgraded aluminum shock caps. Well, metal on metal, not a good thing, so I had to upgrade those as well, and I'll hit that here in a few minutes. Other things that I think that they should have included in the kit was better wheel nuts. Here's the wheel nuts they included, and they are locking nuts, but they're kind of ones that you would find in like a hardware store. They are steel, so they're quite heavy, and they're just ugly. So I picked up some aluminum ones, and that were serrated as well. So we'll go over that here in a few. The last thing is I wish they would have included the carbon battery straps. They have in previous kits, and I know it's about a cost-cutting thing, but I think that would have been a nice touch. There's some other things that they could have tapered off on as far as upgrades, and maybe added those carbon straps on. It's just a nice little added touch for the batteries. The last thing that, as far as my criticism on the B44.2 kit, and there's lots of positives, guys. The last thing is I wish there would be some more standardization of the wheel hexes, and that's the internal hex. On this buggy, it uses 12 millimeter in the rear, 10 millimeter in the front. So when you're buying wheels, it narrows everything down to only certain wheels that you can buy. And I just wish there would be a standardization of those wheels and just make them all 12 millimeter hexes. Let's get on the same boat, guys. The TLR22 does it. There's several other ones out there, and you have to kind of be aware of the old B4 points and things like that. So just wish there was some standardization on the wheel hex nuts. So let's get into some of the parts that I've used for the build, and we'll kind of go from there. So as you see, the kit comes with just tons of upgrades. The biggest upgrade on the B44.2 is going to be that 8 millimeter lengthened chassis, and it's going to be those 12 millimeter all aluminum big bore shocks that was always an option in the past. So the shocks are awesome. The lengthened chassis definitely makes this buggy look a little bit better, and also it's going to perform better. And keep in mind, I have not ran it yet, so this is all my pre-run review. Let's take off the shell and see what's on the inside. The shell, it comes with a J Concepts shell, and that is kind of their partner in crime on this B44.2. And you'll notice the paint on here is an all chrome from Spastix Paint, and it's basically their ultimate mirror chrome that I put on there with some candy blue kind of tint on the windows. So very cool paint. Definitely check those guys out. All in all, the body painted up pretty easily. Got the black backer on the inside as well. So that's the body. As far as the kit, I mean, there's so much carbon in this thing, and I've said it before. You could kill a small horse with the amount of carbon on this kit. Now, you'll notice that all the electronics are in. I have lots of little subtle upgrades and whatnot. You'll see the carbon battery straps like I was talking about earlier. But let's start from the front of this buggy, and we'll kind of go down the line as far as what I've added. Electronics-wise, we have the SR300. That's just a stock receiver I had kind of laying in my shop here. I am running a Spektrum cap as well right there. That's just to protect some of the electronics that are going to try and draw lots of current. The Gen 2 from Tekin, that is a 7.5 turn redline motor, and it is running censored right now. Back in here you'll see the Robinson Racing aluminum 20-tooth pinion. Just kind of taking a stab in the dark on the pinion size right now. I've picked up a couple other ones just so I can fine tune it. Right here you'll see the SMC lipos. These are 5600 milliamp. They are saddle packs, so it does come with two. I have built also a jumper wire for those. The burst rate and constant, 70C constant, 140C burst. So definitely some good specs on those batteries, and they are fully Roar approved. Another good look at the shocks right there. They do include those bleeder valves at the top. And you'll notice I'm still running the associated standoffs right there. And on the front, I am running the Avid Delrin standoffs. You'll see kind of the metal piece right there, and then it has a Delrin bushing in there that those aluminum caps kind of ride on. As far as wiring on this build, I used all of the Novac silicone wiring, and I did use these nice Losi right angle bullets. These are the solid bullets, not those birdcage ones. As far as the jumper wire, let me grab that for you guys really quick. Jumper wire, still use the Novac wire, and then once again with that Losi bullet connector, the right angles. So that'll go on the internal ports of the battery. Flip it over to the other side, we have the Tekin RS Pro. That is required to run on a four-wheel drive buggy, and 7.5 is the cutoff for the RS. So went with the RS Pro. Has a little capacitor that's included in the kit. My great soldering techniques right there, the Tekin sensor wire, and then we get on to the Savox. That is the 1257 TG has a 0.07 second response time. That thing is super, super fast. Can't wait to get this thing up and going. Other things that I've put on this thing that was in addition to the kit, and it's going to be kind of hard to see there, but there is a 25 tooth TLR for the 22. That is their servo horn. That is a hard anodized aluminum servo horn. The plastic one, I just couldn't get it to seat onto the Savox, so I tried using it, and I ended up putting that in the parts kit as well. So as far as all the setup of this buggy, I have pretty much left it box stock. As far as the oils, I am running 35 in the front, 30 in the rear, and I went with their suggested shock setup with pistons and everything else. Front bumper wise, there's no front bumper practically at all, so one of the most common things that I've seen break on this buggy is going to be the front A-arms and that front shock tower, so something to kind of be careful with there. As far as tires and wheels, I did choose the new Proline Ion. These are the MC compound for a clay surface, and I went with the Proline Velocity wheels. Once again, these are for the B44 series, so they have the 10mm front and 12mm rear hexes. As far as wheel nuts, you'll see some J Concepts wheel nuts. That is what my local shop had in stock because they are slightly strange in size. 11/32 is the nut size, and I believe it is 8/32. Don't quote me on that one on the internal portion. As far as the underside, you'll see lots of stickers here. I have not put the chassis protector on. I'm waiting for a custom one to come in, but you'll see that I've thrown on some stickers there just to support the people that I support. So lots of fun. Nice chassis. Cannot wait to get this thing on the track. So all in all, that is the kind of the wrap up there. As far as future of this buggy, I do have some additional upgrade items that I plan to kind of tune with it. I want to run it box stock first, but here's some things from Avid that I'm going to add on eventually. There's a full tuning kit here for springs for both front and rear for the 12mm big bore shocks. I also have a full set of the pistons for the 12mm shocks, so can't wait to fine tune those. I also have their tried and proven triad slipper clutch for the B44.2, so that's going to be going on. Hopefully, we'll see how the stock one runs. And then lastly, I do have a full set of their bearings to kind of put on after I've run it stock. So as far as other things that I've added, there's not much more to add, guys. Let's see, weigh in. Everyone's been waiting on that, right, guys? Let's throw the body on. I am going to put on the jumper cable just so everything's fair. I'm going to put on the body right here. So that's all nice and on. Turn on the scale. Everyone's kind of waiting on this one, hopefully. And we're going to set that on. And I'm going to grab the camera so you guys can do a little verification check of this. And we are running 3.74. Let's round that up. So 3.74, 3¾ pounds of four-wheel drive 10th scale buggy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think this is my longest video to date. But there is some new and exciting things coming up on the RC Network, so please stay tuned. If you have any questions, there's got to be a question in there. Throw it on down below, and as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.